American Fiction was written and directed by Cord Jefferson, starring Jeffrey Wright. This is a movie that I have waited so long to talk to you guys about, and I was finally able to catch a screening of it. It finally came to my local theater, so let's go ahead and discuss it. Jeffrey Wright plays a man named Monk. He's a frustrated novelist who's fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment that relies on tired and offensive tropes. So, to prove his point, he uses a fake pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own, which I dare not spoil the title of said book because honestly, it leads to a joke that is so fucking hilarious. But this book is basically propelling him to the heart of hypocrisy, and it all comes full circle, and it's showing the madness that he's come to hate. This movie, honestly, I wish I saw it in the year 2023, because I guarantee you, this is a 2023 release after all, but if I had seen it before the turn of the calendar year, that movie probably would have made an appearance in my top 20, because American Fiction is genius. Not only is the screenplay so witty, so clever, and so freaking funny at every turn, it's got something very important to say. And I think American Fiction is a very important movie that everybody should be watching. Cord Jefferson is a writer/director that I had not heard of before, but once I figured out that this was this man's debut, I just want to see everything this guy does from here on. Cord Jefferson gives you a very special debut in this. Not just because his writing is so perfect and the pacing of his script is so brisk, but when you watch American Fiction, it doesn't really feel like you're watching a movie half the time. Matter of fact, it just feels like you're watching a slice of life. And that's rare for movies to do nowadays, where it just feels like you're not really watching something that's Hollywoodized. This movie's not really trying to be anything too grandiose. It's not really trying to go after the big awards. But yet, this is still razor sharp and a very, very intelligent script. It's one of my favorite scripts, I think, that's been put to film in quite some time. I gotta talk about Jeffrey Wright because honestly, this guy has so much freaking talent. And he showcases every layer of his talent with this movie. It's a very gutsy performance in a lot of respects. But this is a performance that I feel like needs to be seen. If the Academy wants to nominate Jeffrey Wright for this, I am not opposed to that. I would love that for him, as a matter of fact. His frustrations are absolutely valid, and the lengths that he goes to voice his frustrations, and the stuff that he's willing to achieve to actually voice said frustrations and to prove his point, not only is it gut-bustingly funny, but it all feels so warranted. Jeffrey Wright, mad kudos to you, sir. This is one of my favorite performances of yours, if not my favorite performance I've ever seen from you. I think every performer you get in this movie is fantastic. Tracee Ellis Ross is wonderful in this. We see Leslie Uggams in this movie. Those of you who don't know that name, that is Blind Al from the Deadpool movies. She plays Monk's mother in this, and oh my god, her work is staggering. Sterling K. Brown as well, playing Jeffrey Wright's brother. Sterling K. Brown is one of my favorite actors working right now. And with this performance right here, this is a man who is very troubled, and he comes from a very checkered past. And there are certain things about him, not just in terms of his race, but as a gay man, that's another added layer to the fact that he's not really all that socially accepted. Hell, even in his own family. And there was one sequence with Sterling K. Brown, and I dare not give it away, but I started to legitimately tear up at this guy. Probably one of the more underrated performances to come out of 2023. I loved every single performance. I loved Cord Jefferson's direction. The jokes in this movie come hot and heavy. And yeah, if some people want to complain that the messaging and the jokes in this movie are so in your face, because the message of this movie in this day and age, it needs to be in our face. I loved American Fiction. I was just enraptured in it from start to finish. It's a very easy watch just because it just feels like I'm watching real life on the silver screen. Jeffrey Wright gives perhaps the best performance of his career. Cord Jefferson, I cannot wait to see what he does next. For a first movie, this is very, very impressive. I do have one teeny tiny little nitpick here, and I'm really grasping for straws at this. But I feel like once the movie starts to come to a close, there is a running meta-theatrical joke that the movie almost wants to hammer into you. And I get what the movie was trying to say. And above all else, what it was trying to show the audience. I get that. But to me, it almost feels like the joke came a little bit too heavy-handed at the end. Like, it almost became unfunny. And it was like, okay, I get it. But like I said, American Fiction is a very important movie that everybody should be watching right now. If it's in a theater near you, I highly recommend it. I'm going to give American Fiction an A. Kudos to Cord Jefferson. His ceiling is so incredibly high, and I can't wait to see what his next movie is. And I can't wait to see what Jeffrey Wright does next also. But let me know what you thought of American Fiction down in the comments section below, and let me know what your favorite movies of last year were. Let me know what your most anticipated movies of 2024 are. Because I love movies. I love discussing all things in movies and entertainment. This community is a great one to be a part of if you love discussing all those topics. So do consider subscribing and tap on that thumbs up as well. That would be a huge help. Stay tuned for more videos very soon, guys. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk commence.